So we're here with Dran Reese. She is the president of the Salt and Light Council. Dran, thank you so much for being with us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And tell us a little bit about what you're doing and why you're doing it, please.
Sure. Well, the Salt and Light Council is actually an initiative for churches where there's a no excuse ministry now for the pastor to get on board and get involved in the culture and then have a biblical worldview congregation. So that's a no excuse ministry. But out of the Salt and Light Council, in my years working with churches, I met several black pastors, and they were lamenting on how there isn't a really great educational program for the black community. So with one of the pastors, we started working together every week for about an hour, and we built a training program on black history. And then along the way, I met another black pastor who wanted to talk about how the black community is being used as pawns of change. So after 3 years in the making, we had 2 educational programs that we were able to launch. And then the whole idea of it just fell out, and we call it the Content of Character series. So it's based on Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King, who said, "One day my 4 little children will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character."
And so what kind of goes into the training program? What are the elements of it? What do you teach?
Sure. Well, for one thing, what we do are all-day educational summits. So we go around the country, and so far in 2 years, under 2 years, this is just insane, we've done 6 summits. Who does that? So we already have 2 scheduled for this year, another one coming up in 6 weeks. And so what we do is we take the entire day and then take them through kind of a lesson, starting off with one race, one blood, which is basically challenging people to get over this racial divide that we've all been, told that we're supposed to believe, because the fact of the matter is we are one race, one blood. And then from there we go into black history, the true black history of America. And there's some incredible stories of heroes in the black community, African American community. Frederick Douglass is one slave to a wealthy man. And there are so many ways in which we are able to show the differences between the parties, the Democrats, the Republicans, and how what we're trying to do is to build Christocrats and biblical worldview thinkers that think critically about what choices they make and what parties they align with. And in addition to that, we talk about black genocide, how the Planned Parenthood is actually targeting, through Margaret Sanger, the black community to just annihilate what they would have at one time called imbeciles. And so we also talk about that and so many other subjects, as far as we even talk about homosexuality and how that affects the black community. We even talk about voter fraud and about sanctuary cities and immigration, how with sanctuary states, they're coming in and they're bringing immigrants from other countries, and they're targeting the black communities where they're housing them, displacing the black community who's still loyal to America, and bringing in people who are not loyal to America. So the black community in general has been a target of just being used and being pawns in a political game. And we're hoping that we can educate and teach and train and have real biblical worldview thinkers.
Wonderful. And where do people find out more? Do you guys have a website?
Oh, sure. It's called contentofcharacterseries.com.